everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to Marketing Simplified. Little disclaimer here, I go live on these videos, so if you hear some background noise, this is my home office and the babysitter and my little 2-year-old toddler is outside. So you may hear happy toddler laughing or something else. So if this is one of the first times you're tuning in, just know that. Also, if this is one of the first times you're tuning in, I usually build on themes. And so last month in September, we talked a lot about engagement, and we talked a lot about first focusing your message online and then really how do you engage your fans and followers. And so October, we're going to really continue that theme because the most important step of digital marketing is to achieve engagement. If you don't have engagement, then you really don't have relationships. And relationships are the key to making conversions. And so in marketing, we call the process of relationship building know, like, trust. That's kind of this funnel of how we build relationships in real life, right? Person to person and online. In fact, I always say online marketing is the same as marketing in real life, except in real life, you don't have a screen in between. So I want you to think of that as well. So going down this know, like, trust process, when you start trusting someone because you have a relationship with them, that's when you buy. So how do we build the engagement that gets us to that trust? And how do we do that online in this atmosphere where there really are screens in between? So sometimes it can be a little harder. So I made some notes for you today because I want to talk about how to ask an engaging question. So a lot of times because questions are what, as you know, gets us all talking and fired up about what we want to tell each other, right? And so it all focuses on a question. But a lot of times online, we don't ask the kind of questions we need to be asking. This is kind of like in person. If you were to ask someone, how are you doing today? And they say, good, that ends the conversation, right? And so so this is an example of the biggest mistakes we make, right? When we ask questions, we don't ask questions that are specific enough. In fact, sometimes we ask questions in the exact opposite way we should, in that we ask people to think about the future and we ask people to think about something abstract, right? And so something like, what would you like to accomplish today? Well, now they have all these abstract ideas of what they'd like to accomplish today, and they're imagining the future. So if we reverse that when we ask a question and we ask someone first about something they've already done and then something concrete, we ask a better question. And so let's put an example to that. So let's say maybe you're a personal trainer that specializes in helping people move the right way to get over chronic pain. So you could either say, does your chronic back pain make you worry about the future, for example? The answer to that is yes, and the conversation ends. Or you could say something like, when is the last time your chronic back pain flared up, and how did that affect the activity you were engaged in? So all of a sudden now, you get this very concrete answer and a very descriptive answer about, first of all, when the exact last time was and what the customer was doing, which tells you even a little bit more about the kind of person your ideal customer is. So it's a win-win for everybody. First, you've engaged your ideal customer, and then because they've actually answered the question, because they've been prompted in a good way to answer the question specifically, and then you've also gotten customer data. So now you know next time you go to put out a piece of content, how to get in that customer's head. You can use that example that customer gave and that other customers or potential customers may be giving you to really tailor your content to that person. And that's how in marketing, we kind of get inside the heads of our customers and potential customers. We take what they say and we turn it back around to them and others that we know are probably like them, right? Because they're our ideal customers. Okay, so I want to review. Whenever we think back on info, and whenever we have something concrete that we're asked to talk about, we're more likely to answer questions in a specific and informative way. So in writing, people that teach writing, whether it's on a professional development basis or think back to your English teacher, we used to do prompts in English class. So we used to get prompts. Our teachers, you may remember, used to give us prompts and say, write about this, that, or the other. A good prompt was always based on concrete info that people recalled. Unless it was a creative writing class, then that's completely different. But usually the best type of writing comes from that concrete info that we recall. That's when we can tell great stories, and that's when we really get to the root of what we're asking and get those great answers. So I encourage you, when you're prompting your customers, to really keep those two things in mind. And then, hey, in your daily conversations too, instead of just asking someone, how are you doing today, you could say something like, how did yesterday go for you? How'd your Monday go? What was your favorite part of Monday? Or what was the biggest thing you achieved yesterday? And then you've started a conversation, and then it's like, oh, really? That's what you're working on? Okay, well, then you can go into, what do you hope to achieve with it today? But see, you have to prompt people to really give you that kind of engagement and information you want from them, especially these days. Because remember last week in my video, I told you that we process the equivalent of 175 newspapers a day. So to get our attention, you have to really give something in return. And this week, that's a good prompt. Now, last week, if you missed the video, I talked about you giving a little of your own vulnerability. So I encourage that too. And if you missed it, go back and see it. All right, so that's everything for today. We're gonna build on this for the rest of the week in my posts. So come back and make sure you check my social media. I'll be giving you more information about customer engagement. And I challenge you this week to, on your social media channels, think about ways that you can truly engage your customers. And again, this month, our whole theme is engagement, so we'll be talking about that via email too, so that we cover all of our digital marketing engagement avenues. All right, thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great Tuesday, and I will see you soon. Have a good one.